Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with another one. This is the Daily Hump Dump, the 34th edition, and it's been some interesting topics. And yeah, everybody's getting in here, but now that goes. Oh, okay, extended. Okay, yeah. Mm, these days, do. Ooh, wee. Let me get set up real quick inside the studio. Oh shit. Damn. It's always some nigga shit with this shit. Okay. All right. There we go. It's always some bullshit with this shit. That's why I hate these things. Signed a little, yeah, some nonsense on here. All right. We good. It's been a lot to talk about. It's a lot to talk about. I know people trip about what Jeff Teague said about LeBron's. A lot of people try to say it's alleged steroid use. A lot of people say he takes steroids. I don't care for him. Fuck his team. Fuck all of them. They ain't gonna do shit. The hell with them. Because people been criticizing him for years. I don't use his face and like, man, fuck that nigga. He's out of there, bro. The Lakers ain't going nowhere. Y'all so dumb. And my dad believes he's a Laker fan too, historically. He said they're gonna do something. They ain't gonna win the championship in Dallas. A lot of people say that. I just didn't buy that. He said that last. I said, no, that nigga's not winning. It's over. Not with that team. Dallas don't want him. He went to the Clippers. It wouldn't have mattered. There's still been a good team. And Kawhi may leave. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think why would Dallas want him anyway? Think about it. If he would have won a championship in Dallas, he would have took less money. Taking more money, you're not winning the championship. That's not true. Anybody says that don't know shit about basketball. My dad was saying that, but no, that's not true. Just because you take money, you're not competing for a championship. You're just greedy. You can't buy your own sports. You're playing for stats. You're not playing for championships. It's not true. I don't care what nobody say. You can play 52 million for anything, but that don't guarantee you no championship. Hell no. It's over for him. Cleveland's a Brady 15. He ain't winning the East either. It's over for him. I don't see him winning nothing because he had his day and it took him too long to get those championships. The years that he should have won, me personally, was probably the one in '07 with the Cavaliers. He wasn't good enough, by the way. He had good talent. Don't let these fake fraud fans of his lie to y'all on the internet. He had talent. The problem is he is just a choke artist, just like Shaq. Look at Shaq's career. He ended up with 4 championships. So look at their careers. Very similar. The difference with LeBron is he got that media mystique than Shaq. Shaq didn't play his role right. He could have been a Jordan, but he didn't want that role. He wasn't that guy. So I'm saying Kobe and him was competing for alpha spots, and that's why the Lakers look so good in the 21st century. A lot of people said they was, but they're not. They was two guys that want the same thing, and once you have two type A1s, two type A players, usually don't work. That's why they ended up winning 3 championships. They wasn't gonna win more. Nah, I don't see that. Because look at Shaq's history. He got destroyed every year in the playoffs. He got swept by Hakeem, even though they had a better team, right? But Hakeem and them had the experience because one, they won the previous year, and two, they went to a game 7 the year before that. And so people forget Houston was a good team. They were probably the best in the team in the early '90s. Them, the Suns, the Sonics. Hell, I could name a lot of Western teams in the '90s. The Warriors was good every now and then. They was up and down. They ended up being a draft team. They ended up being good later on in this century. Who else? The Utah Jazz was standard in every playoffs. Yeah, they got knocked out first, second round, but they did was a threat in the playoffs. They were great regular season. San Antonio was good. They had their moments with David Robinson. San Antonio was good back then, early '90s and all that. '80s, y'all know George Gervin, but the '90s, they were when I was coming up, the Spurs was looking like something. There's a lot of good teams in the West. Trailblazers was decent. They got good on the tail end of the 90s, but in the early 90s, yeah, they had Clyde Drexler. So, addition to Drexler, that team, the second year that Houston won, yeah, if they didn't have Dennis Rodman, they would have beat the Bulls. The difference was when people make this argument about them and Dennis Rodman, that'd be tough. Yeah, the Bulls, I can see why. But if you take Dennis and them other guys off that team, the Bulls wasn't able to beat Houston or anybody. I'm just saying, Mike would have had at least like one championship. He wouldn't three-peat again. The only reason it was possible to him to three-peat again, the second time around when I saw the second three-peat, I did see the first three-peat a little bit when I was a child, when I was a little boy and whatever. And then the last championship I saw with Mike before he retired, it was 93 with Charles Barkley. I was 5 at the time. And I'll never forget, that was a hell of a year. Hell of a year. And people thought Barkley was going to beat Jordan. When Paxson hit that shot, it was over. I mean, that series went down the wire. But that third half of his three-peat, I'm not surprised that beat Seattle because Mike is good, period. Once you had Dennis Rodman, that's an upgrade. This is a guy that stopped him in Detroit years ago before he got his first two. Mike finally got his, and he ended up getting 3 in the 90s. So you got to understand, it was smart to pick up Dennis Rodman. He was an X factor. He helped them with a lot, and a lot of other role players feed off of Rodman, and it worked. That's why it worked. It didn't work out in San Antonio. San Antonio would have kept Rodman. Ain't no telling what Mike's history would have been. Think about that. He had at least one championship in that era, But no, Mike was smart. Phil Jackson was smart, and it was a combination of Phil Jackson and the ulster Jerry Krause. Gold mine. And that's how you see Chicago winning 3 championships. I saw the last 2 of the Malone series. I saw the first one. They beat them, and they was competitive. And then the next one, really destroyed Utah, and Utah wasn't the same. Now, the best chance Utah would have won was probably, I would say, 99 in the 2000s. If Kobe and Shaq did not have Phil Jackson, they would have had a chance. See, coaching, a lot of things matter. It's the integral parts that matter as a championship team. And that's how it is. But you got these dudes think LeBron's going to be able to do that. He's not capable, bro. He's getting accused with the steroid allegations, with Chael Sonnen, which they said discovery. It's over for him, bro. Like, I don't see him going anywhere else. He built a house in LA with a studio. How the hell is he going to go anywhere? He's not going to Dallas. No. Because if that's the case, he may go to the Clippers. I've heard that from Dreamers Pro and others. That's what I heard. I ain't saying he ain't going. Don't rule that out. Everybody acts like they know LeBron, but they don't know shit about LeBron. LeBron's a businessman. He's very secretive. Yeah, he's a Capricorn, but he's one of them guys that'll break it down to a syllable. That's what he does. And he's very sensitive to shit online. He don't listen to TV. Hell, he listens online when people talk bad about it. That's the modern media of today. I'm trying to tell you, Too Raw and them, they be destroying Boy and Ticket. Y'all better listen to them. There's several other sources that don't care for LeBron. He know this by now. He know that people are going to watch him regardless of the situation and what's going on. See, LeBron James is one of them guys that a lot of people said, this man isn't that. Well, he's a little overrated for me personally. He's not Jordan. And Colin Cowherd said it best, and I watch that show every now and then, like the FS1. He said, LeBron's just an opportunist. He's a businessman. And Jordan is not. You feel something with Michael Jordan because what he did in those 3 years, he three-peated the first time from 91 through 93, amazing. 96 through 98, historic. See, the last three-peat, they won 72 games, historic. They won 60-plus games after the first three-peat. He won at least 53 games on the third try because they were a good team. They wasn't the best team, but they were a good team, and they wasn't going to last. But they ended up winning the championship. And that's why they didn't win in 94, because they were a weak team. They lost some pieces there and there, and then Horace Grant wanted to leave before they was going to win the championship. See, a lot of went in with the Bulls. The Bulls were the future, but they was short-lived. If Michael went out to retire, they would have more pieces. They would have traded Horace Grant. They would have traded Horace Grant. Because Horace Grant went all that. His brother's better than him, Harvey Grant. He averaged 18 points a game with the Bullets, and his best scoring year was 18 points a game. Something like that with the Bullets, known as the Wizards. And the way they play is just amazing. So they're not the Bullets no more. They're the Wizards. But this idiot of a president people that voted for said everybody wants to be called the Deadskins and the Indians, Cleveland and Washington. That will never happen. You know what those older ownership said? They told him go fuck yourself. Ain't nobody fucking with Trump. Trump's out of there. It's over for him. That Epstein and all that shit, he out of there. Fuck out of there. People that voting for him just shows how dumb this country is. I mean, I try to tell y'all, bro, it's over. Because the first term, he was gonna mess it up for everybody. A lot of people try to say the pandemic was blamed on the left, which is bullshit. He was the one that started that. There's no such thing as right and left. The idiots that talk like that don't know shit about politics. Right and left does not exist. The only party that fucks up shit is the Republicans. They've always hated their own people and they don't care about nobody. They're the most historically liberal, and I said it here first on this channel. Fuck anybody else think about it. They are the historical liberals, and they ain't been shit since then. It's nothing positive about the Republican Party. That's why they trash. And Democrats are bad too. No, Democrats are. You know what they are? Yeah, they're bad. I give them some criticism, but not much because they're irrelevant. The most irrelevant party is the Democratic Party. They so fake liberals that they are. They're not really liberals. They're really conservatives. They really want to lock your ass up and just take resources from you. That's all they do. Look at Obama. Lock your ass up, take resources. Kamala would have did the same thing, but it won't matter. I mean, they lock up the right people. Yeah, they lock who they want. They don't even care. They just have a conservative view. You may be restricted on some things, but you just got to pay to play, they say, right? That's their mindset. They support that. Yeah, if you vote for that way, yeah, you support conservatism. A lot of people try to say liberalism, but no, you can support conservatism by action. They use the liberal hustle as a way to get you in, but in reality, they're conservative. They don't care nothing about you. That's why I'm so pro third party. But the fools want to vote the same dumbass way or Republican proves why America ain't shit. That's why both parties should not exist, especially the Republican Party, because they're the stupidest party of all time. They don't care about us like that. They don't have nothing for the so-called black man in this country. I try to tell y'all that. Stop voting for bullshit. I said this 4 years ago with certain individuals. We had live streams talking about the political talk. Y'all could go see all the live streams. We talk about all that stuff. Stop voting the other way. Stop voting against your own interests. Your own interest is not about nationality. They got that on lock. That shit's fading out for them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know who we are historically. We just got to get right on board. But as a collective, our people are just dumb. They're just gonna do what the fuck they gonna do. Vote what is necessary for their BS. You know what I'm saying? That's why Trump exists. Trump knows he's an elitist. Yes, he was involved in that Epstein shit. It's a lot of when you got that type of money and you part of them societies and them Freemasonry and all that, you're on their side, bro. I don't use the word the I word. It don't exist. That's just a made up term. It's nothing illuminating about them. But the masonry part, yeah, that's who they are. Cat's out the bag. That's what you got Jaguar for. Jaguar, right? She on Real Life Street Stars. That's why she's so popular. Motherfuckers don't understand that Jag is pulling the curtain off of people's eyes. She's actually speaking for us, what we said years ago. That this world is corrupt. Do not be surprised why Trump is done. He's done. Believe it or not, he's done. I understand why people voted for him. They didn't want to see no Kamala Harris. I mean, everybody says she's a woman. No, this isn't like a woman that talks conservative to lock your ass up. She didn't just lock black men up. She locked everybody up. She's a Democrat. Got nothing to do with gender shit. That's what you niggas don't understand. She locked up everybody. She locked up females too. When people talk about the FBA and that Pan African BS, so called African bullshit, and feds wearing shit, that's not who we are anyway. So I get it. Y'all want to identify as those terms. Those terms are stupid. See, the FBA is a ripoff of MSTA. If you they claim they're Native Americans, I get that premise, but that's not true. Did we trade with the natives? Absolutely. Some of us that came over here freely and sold our own people, yeah. But the ones that call themselves African, West African, y'all are morons. There's no such thing as a West African. That's a made up term. And that's actually a Roman term by Scipio Africanus. I broke this down so many times. Anybody that calls himself a so called African is basically called cold without fear. That's what it means. But you got this fool call himself a think tank, only a so called bigot of the people of blood through so called white people that call themselves think tanks. I don't even call them conservatives. They're frauds. They're actually liberal. They masquerade as conservatives, but they're bitch ass liberals showing a bigoted hand. That's why they voted for Trump. Come on, man. And they call themselves think tanks. We don't need think tanks. Think tanks don't work for the collective of the so-called black person or the elite Eastern man of all time known as Zion or Israel. That's not who we are. We don't need think tanks. Think tanks are for suckers and losers that don't have a thought of a political mindset to change the people around. They don't have a plan. Think tanks are for idiots. I don't care who says it. Fuck think tanks. I might do a special streams about it. Fuck think tanks. Think tanks are for suckers. They don't help the landscape of our people. They just don't. They bring divisiveness. It doesn't work. Yes, I believe in small unity, not big unity, because big unity is where they hurt us. Think tanks is where they hurt us. We had that, and that shit don't work. You need a small, minute minority to control a massive group that has the force, but give them the same philosophy, but teach them correctly, live their life right. Then you expand. That's what I believe. I believe you expand in the right pace. Boom, you got it. Have a nihilistic view of things, right? Not a utilitarian mindset. See, think tanks are utilitarian, narcissistic for this country, or I don't care what country you represent. You're siding with utilitarian, bigoted, illiterate motherfuckers that don't care about us, and they always call themselves think tanks. Key word about think tanks that applies to what they will say WS or white supremacy, so-called white supremacy. That's what y'all support, no matter if you're FBA or pro-African or all that. That's all bullshit. You're on their side. That's an enemy to me. You can't call yourself a think tank. Most of y'all are brainwashed. Be careful with that. Think tanks don't work. They only work in a certain, they think they know politics. They don't know shit about politics. You got to study politics from a philosophy standpoint. You got to study politics based off not just the military aspect. That's a piece of it, but you got to understand not just the economic aspect. That's the third aspect, but there's multiple layers of studying politics. You got to look at it from an intrinsic values of how they think. But you got to remember, this society is ran by utilitarian mindsets. And what I mean by that is they have one emotion. And that's what killed the Romans. They had like what they call Epicureanism. I talked about this 4 years ago. And that's how this world is ran. Yeah, y'all can call it this and that, but it really ran by one philosophy, and it's killing us. You get away from that, You can thrive. I'm telling you. You get away from that mindset, you can thrive, and then stop hating on people, you move forward. Stop hating on the women. Now, these so-called women, stop hating on them too, because they females, they're out of there. Don't waste your energy. Put it in something to good use. Arguing with them is not gonna help our case, fellas. It's over. Their ass is done. They food. We got this. That's how I'm gonna end that. And there's no such thing as a gender war. It's over. It's fake. That fake gender war and y'all been doing for the past couple of years, y'all was on bullshit. Most of y'all motherfuckers are simps. And I said it. I said it. Y'all simps for real. And the reason y'all simps, y'all can't move forward is because a lot of dudes have been soft. That's why you got a lot of clowns on the internet thinking, "Oh, I got this type of game, and I got this fantastic game, and I'm superior, and I'm ruling, and I'm this, and I'm that." Blah, 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 blah. Ain't done a damn thing to help their own situation or financial stuff or whatever it is. But you got a lot of these suckers out here try to be online and try to talk all this bullshit and try to say, "Hey, this is who we are historically, right?" That we gotta complain these females all day. It's a waste of time, bro. The last thing we need is a bunch of bullshit people spewing about, datings and relationships, right? It's just a hustle, right? Or relationships in general. Now, I know everybody's marriages are bullshit on here, especially online. If you talk, I don't care if you talk positive about your marriage or negative. No one gives a fuck if you're married. That don't mean shit. I don't care if you sign the damn paperwork. No matter what gender, somebody's gonna step out. If they don't like something, they're gonna fuck around. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. I've seen this shit in the workplace when I worked up there for like 2 years. I did that shit for 2 years and I saw a lot of whores up there, a lot of hoes up there. And they'll give it up, show they meat, to everybody in my fake redneck voice, but you know what I'm saying? They showing meat. That's what they be showing. They don't care nothing about you. And dudes be on these panels complaining to them or whatever panels like on X, formerly known as Twitter and Instagram. That's how you got a lot of hoes out here, and you got them online, you got them on YouTube. So it's over with. That's why I don't complain to females all the time, especially on this platform. It's not welcome. Now we can have a discussion, but they don't want that discussion. They want bullshit. They're programmed. Now, if I send these females a program, I want y'all to know that they're programmed to the point they don't know shit, and that's sad. The more you program, the more they have control over you. Y'all love dumb shit. That's a fact. That's a fact. Y'all love dumb shit, especially niggas that don't have no mindset. Yeah. So it is what it is, man. People ask me who I'm dissing. I'm dissing a lot of niggas, man. Content's good over here. I don't get much support, but that's okay. I don't give a fuck. I go off the playback. I'm the most hated motherfucker in certain spaces, and I can say that, and I'm cool with that. Even on other platforms, I don't give a fuck. Fuck these people. These people ain't shit. I don't get paid for this. I speak my mind. Yes, I got a microphone, and then you got this dude call himself what Black Hokage. Kind of bullshit anime names that. See, these niggas is retarded. He said, "We don't know, dude. You play such a nigga, boy." Talking all that bullshit. I'm like, dude, who cares? You just a fat ass nigga that live in LA, but you're really from DC, your weak ass. And why the fuck you live in weak ass Los Angeles? Fuck out of here. Fuck that city, man. Overrated ass city. It ain't nothing but a sorry ass town. It ain't shit. Ain't nothing go on it, and people want to erase it off the United States map, like Trump and them. They trying to destroy California. They don't give a fuck about weak ass California. California is food, bro. That's all it is. It's nothing there. They forget it used to be a desert. No one gives a fuck about that weak ass state that failed its own people. And that's a fact. Look it up in the statistics. Too many brush fires. Yeah, I like the basketball team, the Kings, but they stuck in that shithole. Ain't nobody want the Kings. Ain't nobody want to live out in California. Now, would I visit? Probably the northern side, but not in the southern side. It's over. They said, you gonna talk to your homies in the games? They retarded, most of them. They get their brains blown out by the police and their own people all the time. No one gives a fuck about these niggas. These niggas are stupid. They stupid over here where I'm at. They stupid where I'm originally from and everywhere else. These niggas are stupid. If they were smart, and somewhat unified and leave the country and have their own little, they can have their own little nation. Be like if you play Assassin's Creed, look at the pirates, right? Black Flag. They was something like that, had their own little island. I can see that. But they're not intellectually smart because everybody's using Chat GPT and AI and bullshit. They have to make it look easy. These niggas is retarded, bro. No one gives a fuck about it. Just like these niggas in these certain spaces, these fake red pill spaces, because they're not really red pill. They're blue pill bitch ass niggas crying about saying, I'm red pill this and that. Nigga, you're fake. You're little boys. That's why these hoes laugh at y'all stupid asses on every platform, especially Instagram and X. All these other platforms, even adult sites, they laughing at your stupid asses. Everybody's dissing you. They don't like y'all niggas like that. Everybody knows about it. That's why BGS and his shit is a bunch of bullshit. I stopped listening to niggas a long time ago, bro. Hell, I stopped probably 2 years ago. This is what, 2025? I stopped 2 years ago. Focus on my other shit. 2 years ago, I was trying to move in a different direction. But you got fuck niggas thinking they know everything about the internet and they don't. And they use the term SM, social media, and all this other shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? See, when niggas use the word SM, what they call it social media. Actually, I call it social networking because the media means you got a team around you. That's a media. When you use the word social media. Just saying. Just saying. And I always call it social networking. Social media is just a term that boomers came up and dudes have never evolved came with. I'm not mad at everything. I'm just mad at the bullshit when people use that term. It's just like, why y'all use the word social media so much? You know, y'all sound like these so-called white people that always call themselves experts of the internet, which they're not. And I remember one time it was called social networking. Why they use the word social media, and I'll tell you why. They don't know shit about technology. It's not a media. It's nothing media about it. When I hear the word media, I think of NSB, NBC, CNN. That's media. They got teleprompters. We ain't got no teleprompters. Half of these people on this platform and other forums, other platforms don't have no fucking teleprompters. Yeah, we got microphones and gear. Yeah, semi gear shit, small shit. But we ain't got the big shit with the microphones being the ceiling. You speaking from angles and speaking off jack off rejection react access to something like you're not close to the mic like I am talking deep and I'm stepping further away talking to y'all like that. No, we ain't got no padded walls like that. Half of us got what we got, may do what we got, but we got headphones to block out noise. They don't tell you about that. Hell, we got shit that really mattered. What's going on, the general salute? And the stuff that really mattered, how the hell is gear important in a social, what they will call social media setting? Social media can be anything. Hell, you gotta have a media team behind you. See, when I hear the term media, the key word is ain't nothing social about it. Where's the media? The media is online, but if you have a media team and people putting the camera and the teleprompter in your face and sliding in the cards, that's a media. Everybody, that's why I say it does not exist. I call it networking. You network off the side online and you put it in your chat and whatever. You can do it with your pre-records. You're networking, but it's a network of communication. That's why social networking equals what? You're networking, you're communicating, you communicate about different things, different ideas, and next thing you know, it comes into fruition, right? But see, when you use the word SM, social media, what media? There's no media in it. It's mythology. I know everybody uses synonymously. I get why people use the word SM, but that's been a oxymoron term since the internet, and that's what ruined it. They're always gonna blame the internet. That's basically what you're saying. That's why I don't use the word SM. That's why people are so stupid. Prior to the internet, yes, people had lives, yeah, but y'all so fucking retarded as hell. The 21st century, the internet wasn't shit. The internet wasn't shit then. It wasn't shit in the 90s. It didn't exist. The 80s, if you don't talk about that fake ass, that's not real. Fuck all of it. From the set, that's not internet. That's bullshit. That's computers. Green and black screens was standard. Nobody had that other shit. Stop it. Niggas kill me. Oh, we had internet. We paid. That's bullshit. It's not true. That's where your weak ass at. But otherwhere in the United States, no, we didn't have that shit. It did not exist. It only existed in 95 when they had Windows and they tried to add an interface to it, but it was still black green screens and other screens, and that's it. It didn't get popular until after Windows 95. And they start putting interfaces and the term what they would call the Ethernet or the internet. That's different. You can say late 90s. That's what it really started. And it wasn't standard then. People still was outside traveling. They didn't need no internet. They had television. Come on. When they had TV on the internet, that's what killed it. 2012. Prior to 2012, the internet was up and down. You turned it off, you went to sleep, you saw some reports, and you moved on. Then you had TV in the background, listened to sports radio. Podcasting wasn't big until like what, 2003? Prior to 2003, everybody had radio stations. You listened to the radio. But podcast is a small form of the radio. That was 2003, XM radio and all that. You had different casts and members, and that's it. And then that's why people use the word SM now more than ever. They never used that back in the early years of the 21st century. No, because I remember, I'm not stupid. I'm old enough to remember what people used to call it when comedians used to call it. Like Mike Epps, he called it social networking, which it was. It's just in a video form. You got all types of social networking. Hell, YouTube's not considered social net. It's a video sharing site. You share ideas and viewpoints, facts, and opinions about different things and different perspectives of what's going on in the world. What type of shit do y'all listen to? Y'all listen to is stupid. I always want to blame the fucking internet. Take your ass and go find another hobby. That's what I say. Fuck the ones complaining about the internet. Get off the internet and stop talking about your personal shit. The internet is a tool. You can talk about where the fuck you want to talk about, but don't bring your personal relationship bullshit on the internet. You can talk about sport. You can talk about anything. Relationships are for suckers, unless you're a scammer. That's what that's for. That's why I say fuck all of it on that aspect, that whole genre. It's weak. Y'all ain't got no solutions. Motherfuckers kill me, try to blame the internet for everything, for their inadequacies, especially on the internet. They're pathetic. They say, I ain't got no inadequacy. Yeah, you do. A lot of these dudes are inadequate. And they do it just to see if you're going to be about shit. A lot of people ain't shit in general. And I noticed that on the internet, offline. Well, actually, I say this offline here in the state where I'm from. Been here almost for decades. Been here since 2007, and how it's changed a lot. You got a lot of weak motherfuckers in this state, the whole East Coast, and this country. And where I'm originally from, it's been gentrified. It ain't shit over there either. I'm just saying I ain't the perfect thing, but at least I'm decent today. Day is, especially online. I try to be semi entertaining. I could be semi intellectual every now and then. Have some balance in my content. But these dudes worry about is the meat, the pussy meat. So yeah, that's what's wrong with these dudes. And that's why you got these fake red pill spaces that not originally real red pill spaces to help dudes to get over something. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me step away real quick. I'll be right back. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. So, you got to look at these things in the proportions of what's going on in the world today. You got a lot of people crying about this stuff. Now, let's talk about the NFL guy. They said he had CTE and all this other shit. Um they say he got concussions in high school and stuff like that. They say he's a well-known player and all this stuff. Let me tell you something. Guys come with assault rifles and shit like that. That's a form of urban terrorism. So what I look at that is he had a mental issue and things like that, and he said that turns into a CTE. I think me and my father was reading about that incident, but I showed him something on Yahoo, and that's serious. Like Goodell and what's going on today, and then that war over there. We're not gonna mention those fools over there, by the way, and we damn sure not gonna mention them because they're irrelevant as hell. But people voted for the fool in there, and then you wonder why you got bad progress. Y'all gotta understand, most people ain't shit. They just want to be seen and be heard. But yeah, man. We gotta look at ourselves accountable. We gotta hold ourselves accountable though. I'm just looking at what's going on though. So yeah, yeah. They said millions of U.S. is told to stay inside, and 31 states significant threat. Talking about the humidity, high temperatures. Yeah, it's bad. It's like that in New York. It's hot in New York. It's in the dark reds from Kentucky, West Virginia, Missouri, all the way down to Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, um, Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas is above Louisiana and Arizona in the dark red, and the ones in the other red, the north is like Maine and Michigan and all that, Illinois, Nebraska, Texas, and all that, and the two Carolinas they're in the lighter reds. Everybody's in the lighter reds. New Jersey, and the dark reds you already know is dangerous. It's wow. That's that humidity. It's different. Very different. Okay, yeah, the NFL seriously injured after the gunman targeted the headquarters that he slaughtered. I'll say he murdered 4 people. So I'm not gonna get into that, but but that's serious right there. That boy with the shooter, it's crazy, bro. It's a bad world. Like we live in this world that is crazy. But yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. I don't see what's going on else on the news. Here's a okay. Walmart executive saying red flag. She sees employees. Nobody will want you to hire you. Okay, let's see this. Walmart exec shares the ultimate red flag. This is by CNBC.com. Make it. Walmart exec shares that the ultimate red flag she sees in employees. Nobody will want to hire you. Donna Morris, the executive vice president, the chief people officer at Walmart. Walmart, Donna Harris, Jamie Lamatang, or something like that. If you ask Donna Morris, there's one behavior that's the ultimate red flag, and an employee get a fair, won't get far in the workplace. Won't get far in the workplace when someone is a Debbie Downer. Uh oh. All right, know what that term means. Debbie Downer. Here we go again. Morris 57 has been an executive vice president, chief officer at Walmart since 2020. Okay, helping shape an employee experience of 2.1 million workers since the onset of the C-19 pandemic. But prior to her current role, she spent 17 years at Adobe in a variety of leadership positions throughout her career. But she has learned a thing or two about red flags in office. And that's it. Little weak ass article, man. In office, but nobody wants to hire a Debbie Downer. Morris tells CNBC make it adding that this kind of a person is constantly negative. It's constantly negative. Here we go. Constantly negative. They're going to show up and they're going to bring the problem, never the solution. But I like people who bring the problem and suggestion for how they might resolve it. A Debbie Downer she said, a Debbie Downer can also be someone who's a naysayer, sharing negative opinions about others' ideas and goals, or regularly being a hindrance to new projects and perspectives. This could make it difficult for them to make the connections need to climb to the corporate ladder. Here we go with that bullshit. That's not true because most of the times, motherfuckers that work corporate, they don't give a fuck about you. If you make one mistake, you're out of there. This is a C word talk. No, they are. If your coworker has this character trait, they're only going to support you to a restricted limit. Julie Han, and Harvard-trained neuroscientist, told CNBC, making it in June 2023 or 2023. They need you to stay within a short leash and might discourage you from meeting new people in the company or going after new projects if it doesn't benefit them directly. Exactly. That doesn't mean you should practice toxic optimism, pretending everything is fine. But when your team is facing difficult circumstances, for example, it's unnatural and unrealistic for someone to be happy all the time. Exactly. That is a form of utilitarianism. It's a form of utilitarianism right there. I just talked about this early in the stream. Let's read this on. Let's read that again. That doesn't mean you shouldn't practice toxic optimism, but pretending everything is fine when your team is facing difficult circumstances, for example, it's unnatural, unrealistic for someone to be happy all the time. That's that narcissism, aka the utilitarian mindset. Here we go. Right there. Morris says, similar to a continuous negative spiral could be a signal that you're in the wrong job or company, she adds. See, and they try to tell you to move to another job. Well, see, you can't be happy and negative. You got to be both. To me, if you work in corporate, you got to be balanced. That's the problem. And I think a lot of times people swing one emotion, and that's why a lot of this shit doesn't work half the time. It's the people. But no one gives a fuck about weak ass and how they actually get ahead. There are a good couple attributes that separate the most highly successful employees, those who fall short, says Morris. She thinks highly of workers who deliver what you are expecting at the time that you're expecting. She says, you better to deliver early than to deliver late. You better to deliver more than less. Another green flag is they open to the opportunities. They put their hand up to the more, and she asks, or they bring a problem with the remedy of request help in timely manner. Opposed to the house on fire, you can show you have this kind of a team player, but self-starter attitude by offering help even when you're not asked for it, like volunteer to mentor the new intern or pitching the idea that solve problems. That's not always true, by the way. They fire you based off of all that shit. You can do all that shit and they'll run over you. Ain't nobody gonna deal with that. Has been dealing with and demonstrating radical intellectual curiosity. Bunch of bullshit. Not true. Like researching a new AI tool. See, that's why y'all ain't got nobody. And new software where your competitors using and sharing your findings with your boss or manager also goes along, according to Michael Ramlat, CEO of Global Data Intelligence from the Morning Consulate. And if you're willing to help your colleagues along the way, acting as a mentor or sharing the things that you've learned, that is the icing on the cake, Morris says. But people who you see are actually helping others are often total green flag. We know that's a bunch of bullshit, by the way. Want to stand out to grow your network and get you more job opportunities? Sign up for the Smarter and CNBC, making it a new online course, how to build a standalone personal brand, online, in person, and at work. Learn from 3 expert instructors how to showcase your skills and build a stellar reputation, and it created a digital presence that AI can't replicate. Sign today with a couple. Sign up today with a coupon code early bird for introductory discount of 30% off of the regular course and price of $67 plus tax. Offer valid July 22, 25 through September 2nd, 2025, known as 2025 or whatever you want to say. Plus, sign up for the CNBC Making It a Newsletter to get the tips and the tricks for success at work with the money in life, and request to join our exclusive community on LinkedIn to connect with experts and peers. Bunch of BS. Bunch of BS. Oh, that's an ad. Oh, sorry to hit that. What a bunch of bullshit. I just saw this article and it says on CNBC, ain't no one gives a fuck about Walmart. Fuck Walmart. That shit going down in the dumpsters. Trump trying to get rid of that shit. We just want you to go to dinner and gotta make it like it's 7 phone calls. Let's see this. A bunch of bullshit on the news today. I'm just talking. This is current events. What's going on today? After losing $200 million on a Suicide Squad, WB Games has another live service game works based on. Oh man, ain't nobody telling about WB. Y'all trash. Okay, let's look at sports. Celtics make stance on Sam Hauser. Crystal clear. My add painful. They're trying to build. They're trying to rebuild the team. Boston's gonna be mid this year. They ain't gonna do shit. That's it. K. Adams wows NFL fans with the unreal look at the Jets training camp. Who cares? What a waste, bro. Ready or Not sells 2 million units on console in 2 weeks. It's been announced that Ready or Not has now surpassed 2 million copies sold on consoles in just 2 weeks. That must be a good shooter. I'm gonna have to research this game. That game is probably interesting. I'm playing Outriders right now in the background. A lot of stuff. It's almost an hour, but I talked to y'all about like 5 minutes and I'm gonna dip. It's not much online, not much on articles and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all types of shit. I'm just looking at the stuff that's going on. Yeah, a lot of people just falling off, man. I saw there's a boy named well, he calls himself that boy Will, but he has a parody channel called Pookie Will. He was funny talking about the woman's insides got busted over by a dude that was heavy between his legs, but I ain't gonna mention the details. But it was on a what podcast or whatever. I thought that was interesting, but she didn't have to say all that. But that goes to show you how pathetic most people are. They just think about their little sexual organs and shit. But that goes to show you how people have come far and fallen. But that whatever podcast, I don't watch that bullshit. Most podcasts are trash. They ain't even red pill enough. They're just clowns. They just there for sexual gratification. That's what they in there for. So it's like it's not a big deal. A lot of people think it's a big deal, but it's really not a big deal. It's just a bunch of nonsense that they be spewing, and the more they spew, the better they sell their product. And I'm just saying, like, just be careful who you talk to and all this other stuff. Yeah, you got all types of people on here. I bet you these simps wouldn't last a woman. She well known on the internet circuit. She was thick. She live in Vegas. Rhymes with dream. Just put that. But take the D. What comes before D? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, she on the internet, and a lot of people say she's a scammer, but I don't know. She could be, she could not be. You know what I'm saying? She's an entertainer. But these dudes will fold. I'll tell you that right now. If I show a picture of one of these stars, a regular, a real life go getter that be on the street that's from that area, and I think she said she's 5'7". Oh, it's a wrap. Them dudes will fold, especially in these spaces. They need some butt to calm their nerves down. This is crazy, bro. It's a lot of sick dudes out here. Like that, I always try to say it's more sick dudes than it is females. Females are sick too in a different way. They do the weirdest stuff and they just go around and have intercourse with everybody, and that's their thing. And that's what these dudes care about is mostly. But they are so irrelevant. Both sides are irrelevant. But that's why the relationship culture died during before the pandemic. It died somewhere around 2015, and then it got worse. And there's a lot of decrease, a lot of divorces, a lot of relationship lust spilled over after the pandemic. So everybody hates each other more than they did before. Before, yeah, it was there. It was in spurts and all that. But now it's more because, when Trump won again, that's when it really declined. Everybody's not getting married. The reason why they ain't get married, that's because people voted for Trump. That's what that is. I think, the relationship that's part of it, but these dudes don't understand. No, if you voted for Trump and you're not married, they're not gonna fuck with you. And I noticed that. That's what y'all get though. Y'all voted for a clown that's a well-known PDF file, and he ain't shit. It's over. He's on that Epstein shit. That's what y'all get. This is what America wants, and this is where we're headed. So less marriages, less children, which is going to happen. Obviously, it's going to be more children. No, it's going to be less children. There's no future. Europe is struggling. Everybody's struggling. It's a global problem. This ain't no reproduction problem. These people that's born into this mess are going to be in the casket in 15 to 20 years from now. They'll be alive, but they ain't going to be shit. Just go keep it real. Your kids ain't going to be shit. There's no future for them. What future? What fucking future? It's over for them. See, we trying to survive. They ain't trying to survive. They trying to live long as they can. That ain't gonna happen. It's gonna take a minute. The kids that are in school now are struggling more. They trying to survive. How they gonna tell these kids? I'm just gonna be honest with them. That's all I'm gonna be, and that's all you can do. You know, that's all you can do. But yeah, the sports world they lit on LeBron James and Jeff Teague. He got approached by a weird ass LBJ fan, a sexual, a boy, right? Don't have enough sense to control his little mink. You know what I mean? Just crazy, just ignorant as hell, and expect people to decide with that. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. And they love LeBron James like he crazy. That boy don't know you, and that's just what it is. And that's how you know the people's priorities are messed up. Yeah, I'm trying to get this little thing. Yeah, got that fool out of there. Talk to y'all 5 more minutes, a couple more minutes. I mean, because I said 5 minutes total. But let's see what I can do here. Yeah, but yeah, that's how I look at people right now. They just out here spewing nonsense about this what's going on today. And then the Joy Taylor thing, man. She said, "I quit the sports entertainment." You should. You a whore. What are you gonna do? OnlyFans? She ain't had nothing interesting to say, trying to essay somebody or me to them or whatever. That's her MO. She always looking for the mate. Her goofy ass. Yeah, she's cute in the face, but the cute don't mean nothing. If you're evil towards your own, and she don't even care about other females. She just crazy. I don't care if she's Jason Taylor's sister. Sister's a bum. Always got a thing for niggas. Let's see something real quick. I'm streaming all that. Okay, it's an hour. Okay, I'll talk to y'all a couple more minutes. It's 3 o'clock. Get some time in with y'all. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, he trying me today. Here we go with that shit. No, sir. Enough of that. Trying to cheat. Trying to cheat. Get down. Whew. They got on my nerves. I did good. Normally, I would have got dropped with this character. I'm just looking. I'm just playing in the background, just pausing. If y'all know these long pauses, I got something on my mind. But there we go. Get that shit out of the wax. Yeah. I say, Suway. Crazy. Oh, there's ammo reload. Okay. What you doing there, buddy? What you doing there, Jimmy? Yeah, we good over here. What we gonna say, dude, boy? She got that tutor like old mate. Crazy. And that's just what it is, man. Did that shit. My boy did that shit. He on fire today. But that's all I got, man. Shouts out to Degenerate and shouts out to people to the fire that came in and out. That's cool. Y'all show. Appreciate y'all. The Skywatch, whatever. And it is what it is, man. Like, yeah, we got to do this damn thing. Got to do this damn thing. But that's the whole point. We just talk about current events and what's going on. The sports world is still cracking, still acting crazy as usual. But like I said, just don't pay attention to people that talk about these silly nonsense of relationships, man. Like I look at these channels that I be watching, they be saying some dumbass shit, man. Just to say, oh, we in this together, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. Females talk all the shit all the time. Just let them talk, bro. They're a waste of energy. I know niggas say, oh, you don't get a girl. Yes, I did. I got a lot of hoes, and y'all, you niggas is just talking. Y'all fuck niggas to me in real life. Y'all always gonna be fuck niggas. The ones that was against me, I'll say I was neutral with y'all 5 years ago, but 4 years ago, fuck y'all. The ones that we had fallouts, fuck them niggas. They're the same niggas that's losers in real life. Just keeping it real. And they'll never measure what I did offline. And I ain't talking about success either. I'm talking about how to deal with people and be respectful, and that's it. These suck ass little boys don't know how to do that. The internet didn't make me. I was somebody before online. Yeah, internet was a tool. I use the internet as a tool. I understand the internet. I know how to use it. It's a tool. Just like I'm using now with this channel, it's a tool. Been on this internet shit for years, but that doesn't mean I'm from the internet. No, I'm not from the internet. I'm a part of the internet, yeah, of the success of this channel. And prior to the channel that I lost, that was my success that I did. And I established that by myself. I had no one else to do it for me. So any fool to try to say they help me out is bullshit. They don't know shit about nothing. They got it off of bullshit. They ain't got no talent. I know what talent when I see it. They can't tell me about talent. They can't tell me about shit. That goes to anybody. So fuck these people that got platforms, bro. It's war over here all day, every day. So signing off, the people of Israel to the Gentiles until next time. And I'll see y'all the Wednesday after next, not this next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after next. So with that, until next time, I'm out. And